Hello everyone, welcome to a new fresh episode of Pratik Aviation Talks. With us today, AKASH Hazra, trainee pilot from India. Hi, let's start with a short introduction of yours.
Hello everybody, my name is AKASH Hazra. I belong from the city of Kolkata. I pursued my career in aviation right after my 12th standard, and currently I fly the Cessna 172 and I'm doing my flying training from India.
So, did you always want to be a pilot or was it something else?
Well, I think the passion for aviation, was there ever since I was a kid. Ever since I know of this world, I've always wanted to be a pilot. But initially, the love for aviation began with the dream of getting into the Indian Air Force. But then gradually, I started to know about commercial aviation as a profession. And then I just felt it was amazing. I fell in love with it. And then actually, I think it was from the 9th standard, I became very serious about this profession. I started doing my researches. Initially, I thought that to be a commercial pilot, you can only obtain your training from abroad. But then I realized there were also very good flying clubs in India who offer their training. And then from the time I got into 10th, 12th standard, I started visiting flying clubs. And so after that, everything just fell in place. I had my parents' support, thankfully. And that is how I got into aviation right after my 12th standard.
What is the course fee needed for CPL training and how did you arrange the funds?
See, usually a budget of 35 to 40 lakh rupees would be enough to be a commercial pilot and get your 200 hours done in India. But post the COVID crisis, the entire dynamics of the aviation industry has changed. Similarly, it has affected the Indian aviation training space as well. Most flying clubs have changed their flying rates. Some of them have increased their flying rates. So keeping the current scenario in mind, if a aspirant is getting into aviation training right now, pilot training right now, I think keeping a budget of 35 to 45 lakh rupees would be good, because if you do your research, you will realize most flying clubs have actually increased their flying charges a little. So keeping a budget of somewhere around 40 to 45 lakh rupees should be good in order to get your 200 hours of flying training done from India in the current times.
What is your parents' reaction when you told them that you want to be a pilot?
Well, in my family, there is nobody even slightest bit connected to aviation at all. So when I told my parents that I wanted to become a pilot, it was very shocking for them. And I think the first time I told my parents that I wanted to get into aviation, I wanted to be a pilot, I think it was when I was in the 3rd or 4th standard. और उस टाइम पे तो दे जस्ट टुक इट एज अ जोक. ऐसे बच्चों का नहीं होता, कभी एस्ट्रोनॉट बन जाते, कभी फुटबॉलर बन जाते, कभी साइंटिस्ट बन जाते. सो दे जस्ट थॉट दैट मी वांटेड टू बी अ पायलट वाज जस्ट लाइक वन ऑफ दोज किडिश थिंग्स. But as I grew up, they kind of understood that I was serious with it. And I was very lucky. I mean, I don't have a story to say ki, my parents did not support me. They were always very supportive from day one. From the time I told them that I wanted to get into commercial aviation, my parents along with me were equally involved in doing my research about this profession, because like I said, I did not have any help. There is no one in my family from the profession. So I think whatever I am doing today and whatever platform I have right now, all the credit goes to my parents, because without their support, I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing right now.
What early preparations for aspiring pilots will help them further?
Well, a lot of people don't emphasize on this, but according to me, from the time you plan to become a pilot, start working on yourself. Start working on your diction, start working on your language, start working on your academics. A lot of people don't say this, but for being a pilot, I think academics are very important, because well-educated pilot is always a better one. I have mentioned this in one of my videos as well. So start working on yourself. And also for the parents, I think the most important early preparation for this particular profession is the financial preparation, because a lot of investment is involved, and planning is very important. From my own experience, I have seen that to be in aviation and to pursue your training smoothly and successfully, I think financial planning is of the utmost importance, and that of course your parents will do it for you. So plan your career and plan your finance accordingly to have a smooth ride in aviation.
What will be your suggestions to those who were not financially capable but want to do CPL training?
Well, I might sound a little stern on this, but I'll have to say this. Considering the current scenario post COVID, the entire dynamics of the industry has changed. There are, the boom that we saw before COVID is no more there in Indian aviation market right now. That does not mean that it will not grow. It will grow. I'm sure it will grow, but that will take some time. So for someone who is not very financially capable and financially strong to get into this profession, I think for now you should just think twice about it. If you have a backup plan, if you have a plan B for yourself and for your life, you can pursue that for now, because this profession is it requires a lot of money, to be very honest with you. And considering the current times where nothing is certain, I think it is always good to fall back onto a plan B and make yourself secure first, because 2020 has taught us that it's not important on what you get this year. It's important to protect and save what you have. So yeah, if you have a plan B, work on it. And for someone who is absolutely financially capable, I would say take the risk. But for someone from a middle class family who is little scared to risk it, I think for now, please think twice about it. And yeah, I think that was about it.
What will be your advice to aspiring pilots?
Well, for aspirants who want to become a pilot, my first and foremost advice is don't let anyone tell you that academics don't matter. If you're in 10th, 12th, 11th, whatever, if you're an engineer, if you're getting if you have a degree, all this knowledge will always help you, no matter you get into aviation or any other profession. The knowledge that you have will help you throughout your life. So academics do matter. Get your subjects strong, perform well, get your knowledge built, and that will always help you throughout your life. And the second thing is, for anyone coming into pilot training, have patience. As long as you don't have patience, this profession is going to be very tough for you, because aviation in itself is a very dynamic industry, and the training space is also very dynamic. Nothing is certain, nothing is certain. Things will not always work as per your plan. Planning is very important, is very good also. I think someone who plans well always ends up being in a better place. But get ready for things being uncertain, and for that, I think patience is very important. Of course, that should be topped by passion and dedication. As long as someone is not passionate, I think there's no point of getting into aviation, because pilot training and being a pilot is all about passion. Flying is all about passion. And from the time you step into that cockpit and take your first flight, I think it's just a dream come true.
Thank you, Akash, for sharing your knowledge. This will definitely help our viewers.
Thank you so much. I just hope you could take some help from all the information that I shared, and I had a great time. So thank you so much. Thank you.